demolished about 34 to 40% of this huge infrastructure. Money that would have gone to help and aid the people of Gaza went to these tunnels, to this war machine. They are down under, and from down under, they send all their cameras to see upstairs
President
what's
Herzog,
going on. And
again, you are describing
warfare.
The circumstances
Because
of fighting in Gaza, which we all
circumstances
understand. But I want to stick on this question of international law, which you said that is important to Israel. It is central to what Chatham House does. It is written on as a goal on the ceiling of the entrance hall. And I want to ask you whether it is the aim of the Israeli government to expel or persuade Palestinians to leave. Finance Minister Smotrich, also a defense minister, has said that Gaza will be completely destroyed and its Palestinian population will leave in great numbers to third countries. That provoked a statement by the UK, France and Canada condemning this abhorrent language and warning that this could be a breach of international humanitarian law.
So let me say that Israel is a democracy with as far-reaching free speech as imaginable, but that does not reflect in any way the Israeli policy. Israel does not intend...
This is the finance minister and a member of the government.
Israel does not intend... Our political system is somewhat different than yours. It's a coalition.
The world is quite aware of the Israeli political system now.
But this is absolutely not the Israeli position or intention. Israel made clear it does not intend to expel anyone.
Do you condemn that statement then?
We've made it clear.
Do you?
Wait, because I'm the president, and I'm the president of all political views in Israel, I'm not dealing with the way we argue with Israelis in Israel as when I'm appearing in the international arena. But what I want to say, it's like you would say, these ministers spoke about occupation. The Prime Minister made clear even 2 weeks ago in a podcast here in Britain that Israel has no intention to occupy land in Gaza. But for the day after, we want to have a different management of Gaza, and somebody should go in and manage Gaza. And this is what you should focus on in the international arena. How do we bring the day after? Because we should all look for the day after. We should all include it as part of the major change in the region with our Arab allies and with the Abraham Accords countries, because that's the future of the region. That's where we need to move on as nations, and by that also reach a platform of dialogue with the Palestinians.
So that is where many, many people and countries would like to get to. But I just want to ask you about one more aspect of the present, which is the West Bank and what is happening at the moment there. And I'd like to ask for what your view of the expansion of settlements that is going on now and the authorization by the Israeli government of more controversial building, particularly the outpost, the area known as E1, which would bisect the West Bank.
The issue of E1 it was declared by Minister Smotrich, but that does not mean that it's happening tomorrow. It's a long overall process with a lot of bureaucracy, and therefore I think it's also part of the political discourse in Israel, and it's part of the legitimate discourse in a democracy, meaning there is a strong school of thought in Israel that definitely has evolved dramatically following October 7th, that casts doubt about the ability to reach an agreement with the Palestinians. That is the outcome, also the emotional, psychological outcome of October 7th, because people had a wake-up call about the fact that in the area near Gaza, in an internationally recognized boundary since 1949, it was violated in the most brutal way. So they have their doubts. That's what human beings do when they've been traumatized, and they're thinking about it. And I respect the fact that there is an enormous debate in Israel about all these issues.
Right.
These are life and death issues for us. That does not mean that everything you read here in the media, which usually, honestly, I'm saying, is most times one-sided and does not go into the details itself, does not understand the debate in Israel, takes a certain sentence that says, this is Israel, because we need to bash Israel on a daily basis.
What is your view of these settlements? You've said in May this year, settlement is one of the cornerstones of Zionism and the Jewish story, and that on the West Bank it is a positive, wonderful and thriving project and Israel's defensive shield.
So I will say that because people translated the word hityashvut, that means from day one in the Zionist movement, every town and village in Israel was a settlement. I spoke about the whole notion of building a new village and a new town in Israel, and I respect that notion because that's from the early days of establishing our nation.
So I understand that.
I did not speak about boundaries, nor did I speak about any specific thing, and yet I must tell you that there are settlements and towns and villages in the West Bank that are a source of pride, and people are amazing, and we agreed way back that there are ways and means to reach an amicable agreement with the Palestinians, despite the fact that there are settlements. It's been discussed in the Camp David discussions already back in 2000.
What do you think the Israeli government should do now to stop the violence that is happening by settlers against Palestinians?
So we have a very strong legal system. There is investigations and adjudication and law enforcement apparatuses and courts. And the entire legal system is operating on it. We are not indifferent to it, that there could be such instances, but I would not, because of that, in any way generalize or categorize the citizens of Israel who live beyond the 67 boundaries.
Let's come to, if you like, the day after. Who or what do you think should manage Gaza?
So I think that, in the vine leaves, or